Shakti Mataji, when you're ready, you can start, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamadiraye Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhavati Uttamasloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistake. Reading today from Canto 7, starting with text 24. Then there appeared before them a transcendental sound vibration emanating from a personality not visible to material eyes. The voice was as grave as the sound of a cloud, and it was very encouraging, driving away all fear. Text 25 to 26. The voice of the Lord vibrated as follows: O best of learned persons, do not fear. I wish all good fortune to you. Become my devotees by hearing and chanting about me and offering me praise. For these are certainly meant to award benedictions to all living entities. I know all about the activities of Hiranyakashipu and shall surely stop them very soon. Please wait patiently until that time. Text 27. When one is envious of the demigods, who represents the Supreme Personality of Godhead, of the Vedas, which give all knowledge, of the cows, Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, and religious principles, and ultimately of me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he and his civilization will be vanquished without delay. Text 28. When Hiranyakashipu teases the great devotee Prahlad, his own son, who is peaceful and sober and who has no enemy, I shall kill Hiranyakashipu immediately, despite the benedictions of Brahma. Text 29. The great Saint Narada Muni continued, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the spiritual master of everyone, thus reassured all the demigods living in the heavenly planets, they offered their respectful obeisances unto him and returned, confident that the demon Hiranyakashipu was not practically dead. Text 30. Hiranyakashipu had 4 wonderful, well-qualified sons, of whom the one named Prahlad was the best. Indeed, Prahlad was a reservoir of all transcendental qualities because he was an unalloyed devotee of the personality of Godhead. Text 31 to 32. The qualities of Maharaj Prahlad, the son of Hiranyakashipu, are described herewith. He was completely cultured as a qualified Brahmana, having very good character and being determined to understand absolute truth. He had full control of his senses and mind. Like the supersoul, he was kind to every living entity and was the best friend of everyone. To respectable persons, he acted exactly like a menial servant. To the poor, he was like a father. To his equals, he was attached like a sympathetic brother, and he considered his teachers, spiritual masters, and older god brothers to be as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was completely free from unnatural pride that might have arisen from his good education, riches, beauty, aristocracy, and so on. Text 33. Although Prahlad Maharaj was born in a family of Asuras, he himself was not an Asura, but a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. Unlike the other Asuras, he was never envious of Vaishnavas. He was not agitated when put into danger, and he was neither directly nor indirectly interested in the fruitive activities described in the Vedas. Indeed, he considered everything material to be useless, and therefore he was completely devoid of material desires. He always controlled his senses and life air, and being of steady intelligence and determination, he subdued all lusty desires. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah, Rajchanik Mataji, when you're ready, you can start, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, is my screen visible?
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, then pranam to all the dear devotees present over here. Thank you, Devi Shakti Mataji, for reading the translation, and Prabhuji for giving me this opportunity to purify my tongue. So we have been reading a very interesting canto, canto number 7. It's about Prahalad Maharaj. In this, we so far, I will just give a very small recap of what's happening. Hiranyakashipu has performed intense austerities, tapasya, so that he can get as much power so that he can kill Vishnu. This is his motto. And he does work hard and pleases Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma had to come down because of the temperature that was rising of the planet. And he does come and he offers him benediction. And very smartly, Hiranyakashipu was asking for things like, I should not be killed inside, outside, day, night, with weapon or with hands, with an animal or a human being. And he asked many things. He is considering himself that I'm very intelligent and I can outsmart Lord Brahma. And while doing this, he's offering intense prayers to Lord Brahma as if he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he doesn't want to accept Vishnu. He does receive all the benedictions that he asked for, and the confidence, that immense confidence he has in him, that nothing is now going to happen. With my powers, I will be able to kill Vishnu. With that motive and enviousness in his heart, he is actually terrorizing the entire universe, and that's what we are reading. Fourth chapter, which says Hiranyakashipu terrorizes the universe. And in this, so far, we heard yesterday that he was having so many atrocities over the Devi Devtas that they were all very scared of Hiranyakashipu, except for Brahmaji, Shivaji, and Vishnu. He had power on everybody. He was now in Swargaloka, a place which is not meant for him. And the Devatas, they were demigods, they were not capable enough to fight with him, and hence they were under fear. And with this fear, in the verse that 23rd verse, they surrender themselves to Lord Vishnu. They head towards Lord Vishnu's abode and start offering prayers with complete surrenderance and to seek a way out of this problem. And that's where we are reading from today, text number 24 until 33. In text number 34, when all the Devi Devtas prayed to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, immediately, you see, there is a difference. Hiranyakashipu performed austerities for thousands of years, and Brahmaji was satisfied. Here, the demigods, the Devi Devatas, with complete love and surrenderance towards Vishnu, prayed to him, and he immediately came. And he said there was a very deep, grave voice. Now, the voice was not very scary. You know, when Narsingh Devji, when he is going to appear, the sound that is going to vibrate, it is going to be very tumultuous sound and will create fear in every demon's heart. But here, when Lord Vishnu is speaking, it is very encouraging. And with that grave, deep, beautiful voice, all the fear that the Devi Devtas are having right now is getting vanquished. So here he appears and he says that do not worry. And in the next verse, we go on to verse number 25, 26 from here on, after Vishnu's voice appeared. And that's what he says. The voice of Lord vibrated as follows. First thing, O best of learned persons, do not fear. Krishna also told us the same thing in Bhagavad Gita, Masaja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha ishyami masucha. Do not fear, I am there. So this is a kind of confidence the devotees have in Krishna. Then he says, become my devotees by hearing and chanting about me and offering me prayers. It's like, again, we have heard this twice in Bhagavad Gita. Man mana bhava mat bhakto matyaji mam namaskuru. One thing that Krishna is asking us to do is become his devotees, surrender unto him completely. And how is he saying that? How to do that? By hearing, by chanting, and offering prayers. Right? And then he says, in the last line, if you see, he says, please wait patiently until that time. This kind of emphasizes have faith. Sometimes when we are in a very bad problem, and if it lasts a little longer than what we expected, we kind of start losing faith. And Krishna says, wait patiently until that time. It means have faith in me, Shraddha. So this verse, dear devotees, is very important as per my understanding. If you could read the purport, it is not a very big narrative. Prabhupada over here is saying, describing the word Mad Darshan. If we see in the verse over here, there is a term which says Mad Darshanam. So what does this mean? Mad Darshanam is my darshan. You will be able to see me, seeing me. So it is further explained that the moment the demigods will be able to see Lord Narsimha, all their problems will disappear. They will have to suffer only till Narsimha is coming. So that darshanam. And furthermore, Prabhupada is describing that this darshanam, like seeing Krishna with your eyes, may not be possible, but when you have the eye of bhakti, it is very easily available, easily achievable. So here Prabhupada is emphasizing on the words Bhaktya Mam Abhijananti. A person can know me very well, can see me very well, can understand me very well, and the source to do that is going to be loving devotional service, which is called bhakti. Prabhupada further describes about the 9 different activities that we can perform in bhakti, which we know as Navada Bhakti. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Svaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atva Nivedanam. These are the 9 limbs we can follow, even one, and achieve success in bhakti and actually be able to see Krishna. Here, Prabhupada is explaining that there is absolutely no difference between deity worship, looking at the deities, or chanting his name, glorifying the God. There is absolutely no difference. It is equal to seeing him. So for us human beings, it is not really same. Listening me is not equal to seeing me. But when you hear the glories of Lord, when we are doing kirtan, Hari Katha, somebody is doing kirtan, the other party is listening, Shravanam. This also is equal to be able to seeing God. This is what Prabhupada is explaining here. And here further he glorifies how much important it is to hear. So the example that we can get from this canto is about Prahlad Maharaj only. Prahlad Maharaj is still to appear in our reading right now. But Prahlad Maharaj um, became a very good devotee just because of hearing, and that too in a womb. He did not even see his Guru Maharaj. But the glorification of Krishna himself is so powerful that it can vanquish all the bad deeds and karmas out of you and actually light the fire of bhakti. Yeah, one must realize this position, and then one will be able to understand the absolute nature of Lord's activity. We have to understand how important the Naam is. So when we say sincerely, when we say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Every time we say this, Krishna is there. This is what we have to understand for myself, especially. Move on to next verse, verse number 27. In this verse, Krishna is saying that anybody who is envious to the demigods or to anybody else, like the description given further over here is whether the person is envious to Vedas or the cow, the Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, or any religious principle, or anybody envious to any of these things, shows any kind of envy. He is not in a civilized community, and that kind of community, without any delay, will be vanquished by me. Krishna promises us in Bhagavad Gita that Pavitranaya Sadhunam Vinashachaya Dushkritam Dharma Samstarpanarthaya, for establishing Dharma, I will come as and when required, again and again, in every yuga. So here it is very encouraging when Krishna himself is saying that you don't worry, I'll take care of it. It's like too much power a personality gets. For a very crude example for us to understand, say for if example PM Modi or the President Trump tells me something that, oh, don't worry, Rasa Chandrika, we will take care of this your work of yours. I'll be too empowered. Why? Because there is a superior person than me who is backing me up. So here the Devi Devtas are extremely confident now. Why? Because the proprietor of the whole world is backing them up. Okay, then we move on to verse number 28. In verse number 28, Vishnu says that when Hiranyakashipu teases my great devotee Prahalad, who is going to be his own son, so in this verse, he says that the moment he does that, in spite whatever benedictions he have given by Brahma, I will come and immediately kill Hiranyakashipu. We can imagine only how much relieved the devotees, Devi Devtas, demigods might have felt. So here Prabhupada goes on to explaining in this verse in the purport that Vaishnava Aparadh is one of the most harmful thing that can happen to any person. There are many kind of aparadhs, but Vaishnava aparadh is the most severe one. I could think up of a couple of examples. One of them being Ambarish Maharaj. We are all very well aware with the story of Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj was a very good, sincere devotee practicing all the Navada Bhakti towards Lord. And once Durvasa Muni got offended by Ambarish Maharaj and created Asura to kill Ambarish Maharaj instantly. That was a Vaishnava Aparadh because Krishna can bear anything. You know, you can, Krishna will take any kind of wrong words towards him very lightly. He doesn't really care. But if there are some wrong words or any harm done to his devotee, he cannot bear that. So that's when he leaves his Sudarshan Chakra, and that Sudarshan Chakra first kills that demon, Asura, who was created by Durvasa Muni. And then that Chakra goes behind Durvasa Muni. And when Durvasa Muni goes to Brahmaji and Shivaji, everybody like, please help me out. Nobody is able to help him because this was by Vishnu himself. And then when he goes to Vishnu to please protect me out of with this chakra, he says, I have lost all my power. I gave all my power to my devotee, my bhakta. You offended him. Go ask him for forgiveness. And that's when Durvasa Muni comes back and asks for forgiveness. And Ambrish Maharaj, being so peaceful and sober and kind-hearted, just forgives him instantly. That's okay. And the Sudarshan Chakra behind Durvasa Muni vanquishes. So we see how Bhakta Vatsala Krishna is. So Vaishnava Aparadh is something one Krishna cannot tolerate at all. We also see the example of Duryodhana, committed so many Vaishnava Aparadhs in so many ways. And then we see the result. It wasn't good for Duryodhana. Right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains Vaishnava Aparadh is mad elephant offense. It is explained as if you leave a mad elephant in a beautiful rose garden or a flower garden, if you leave him alone, in no time you will see the entire garden is demolished, gone down to soils and cracks. Why? Because that mad elephant runs over through it. This is how Vaishnava Parad is. Whatever pious activities might have been performed, but the moment there is Vaishnava Parad, everything becomes null and void. Here, Prabhupada is explaining that Prahlad Maharaj is a very peaceful and a sober personality and who has no enemy. Prabhupada is emphasizing on no enemy over here. Nirvaira is like a devotee is as such who will have no enemy. Because why is there any need? It's very easy to say though. And then furthermore in this verse and couple of more further verses, it is explained the characteristic of a devotee, that there is no enemy, they are peaceful, they are sublime, and they abide by the scriptures. And here further, Prabhupada is explaining that one's longevity, opulence, beauty, education, and whatever else one may possess as a result of his pious activity cannot protect him once he commits offense at the lotus feet of the Vaishnava. So, however smart, intelligent, wealthy, beautiful you can be, everything goes down the drain the moment there is Vaishnava Pran. Prabhupada is given significant importance in this verse about Vaishnava Pran. We go on to the next verse, verse number 29. Here, now Narad Muni is continuing. We have to remember that this is a conversation between Narad Muni and Yudhishthir Maharaj, where the story of Hiranyakashipu Prahlad Maharaj is being described. So here Narad Muni continues that when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the spiritual master of everyone, thus reassured the demigods living in the heavenly planets, they offered their respectful obeisance unto him and returned confident. My whole point of reading over this was being they're very confident. So one example I could think about being confident that Krishna is going to take care is of Arjuna. Arjuna was once there was a scene where Bhishma Pitama had five arrows and that he was going to use to kill all the five Pandavas the next morning in the battlefield. And obviously Krishna knew about it and he was really worried. Now we see where we get worry from. All these qualities we get is from Krishna. Krishna was very worried for Arjuna, and Arjuna on the other hand was sleeping on a bed with a blanket on and sleeping very calmly. Krishna wakes him up. What are you doing? Why are you sleeping? You don't know Bhishma Pitama has five arrows. You guys will be killed tomorrow. You're not worried? And Arjun says, no, I'm not, because you are there. You will take care of it. So why should I be worried? I'm confident you will figure it out. And he goes back to sleep. So, you have this kind of confidence when you believe that Krishna is backing you up. And you believe that Krishna is backing you up once you are performing loving devotional service. So, this is one example that I could think of. Here, it is said in this verse, Prabhupada is explaining whether one wants something or nothing, anything he desires, everything he wants, can be directly asked to Krishna. He is going to fulfill that. And for that purpose, I could think of an example of Sudhama and Dhruv Maharaj. Both of them approached Krishna for material. Sudhama did not say that he wants the material um, prosperity in his life, but that was the reason he came, but he could not say. But Krishna knew it, he's Paramatma. And Dhruv Maharaj had also approached to Krishna with getting more material benedictions, but once he saw Krishna, he did not really want it. Though they didn't want it, Krishna still fulfilled it. So here, when Prabhupada is explaining Akama Sarva Kamo Va Moksha Kama Udaradi, that means whatever you want, material, spiritual, anything, everything can be asked through one person, and that is Krishna himself. That is the kind of confidence the Devi Devatas at this moment had. Verse number 30. Yeah, it is explained that Hiranyakashipu had four sons. Out of them, one of them was Prahlad Maharaj, obviously, who is the best, because out of the four sons, only one of them was a devotee. Rest were not. It is so surprising and amazing to see that in a house of Daityas and in a community, in a city, in a country of Daityas, there is a beautiful devotee born. So here, Prabhupada is explaining through the verse his transcendental qualities of what a good devotee he was, Prahlad Maharaj. He says that Prahlad Maharaj was a reservoir of transcendental qualities because because he was an unalloyed devotee of Vishnu himself. So anybody who has devotional faith, who has devotion in their heart, Prabhupada says that person gets all the good qualities. Good qualities, say for like all the good qualities like Krishna and the demigods, can come in a devotee also just because of that devotional love. And Prabhupada is saying that if a person is not a devotee, that person may have materially many good qualities. Must be healthy, waking up early, running, jogging, taking care of his health, having lot of education, lot of money. But if a person is not a devotee, that is actually a zero. That value of whatever he has of the material opulences, that is equal to zero. Until unless a person does not have devotion in his life, nothing is really important, is what Prabhupada is emphasizing here. We move on to verse number 31 and 32. This is a combined verse. Here, the transcendental qualities of Prahlad Maharaj is described very well. We can have a separate class on the qualities of devotees, but seeing the time constraint, we will take reference from verse number 18.42 from Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna says that samo damas tapasocham shantir arjavam evacha. So here, in this verse also, qualities of Prahalad is like described. He's a very qualified Brahman. He is devoted to spiritual knowledge and he has a very good, clean character. He knows what the absolute truth is. Knowing this itself takes births and births to know what the absolute truth is. And he is in full control of his mind and senses. We see so many devotees have also struggled to get the mind and senses under control. Like one example that I can think of in my mind is Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj was so well controlled, but when the deer entered the life, a little bit fluctuation caused such a thing that Bharat Maharaj had to take two more births to get back to Godhead. So, but his Jitendriya, his Indriyas were very well controlled, and he was like Paramatma. He is kind to all his dear friends. He has no enemies. People in Hiranyakashipu's kingdom might consider him enemy, but he had no enemies. He was Pandita Samadarshina. This quality he had. He would look on to everybody equally with same affection, same love. And then he was very respectful to the gurus. This is also one very amazing qualities. Even though he knew that Shanda and Amand, they are not teaching him nice thing, right thing. Still, he was very respectful. Never did he say, "Go away, you don't know anything. I know," but nothing like that. He would listen to all the so-called knowledge that they gave very patiently, very calmly, not necessarily imbibing it, but there was no insult or not respecting them in any way. He was completely free of pride and he was very submissive. Being free of pride, we see it very well. He is the son of Hiranyakashipu, the son of the king. What less does he have? He has all the material opulences he wants. His father is the so-called greatest personality at this moment in the entire universe in the world. But still, he did not have that pride because he knew very well that I am the servant of the servant on the lotus feet. This is very very good quality to have. He was not agitated by dangers. We see he was put into so many atrocities, put into fire, put into snake pit, and drowned in ocean, and given poison. I mean, it is difficult for a material person like me to even think about it. But he was still very happily accepting it. Somebody points a gun at my head and tells me you have to give up bhakti or haribol. It is very scary. But he was never agitated because he had very calm and sober behavior. Then he saw the world as insubstantial, and he was subdued by the lusty desire. He never had any such desire, and although he was born in such a big family, there was no kind of enviousness that he portrayed ever. So moving on to the last verse for our day today, verse number 33. In this verse, Prabhupada is emphasizing mostly on that a person is, we do not see the person where he's born. We see the person what kind of gunas that person possesses. Because here Prahlad Maharaj was born in a Daitya family, family of demons. But still he was one of the greatest devotees. We have him in one of the 12 Mahajans, such a great devotee. So by birth, you cannot say some person has some birthright or anything like that, because we see Vidura. He was a Dasi Putra and Kshatriya father, blend, but he was one of the greatest Brahmana. We see Dronacharya. He was one of the Brahmana, born as Brahmana, but he was very good Kshatriya. So all of these depends upon your guna, not upon the place where you are born. And here Prabhupada says, Prahlad Maharaj provided a vivid example of how to think the spiritual master and accept his directions calmly. So his spiritual master was Narad Muni, and how very well he accepted the teachings of Narad Muni from Srimad Bhagavatam, and followed his Guru Maharaj and attained success in bhakti. We see there are many instances where you don't happen to follow your spiritual master, and then there is degradation. Like Indra Devta once did not follow his spiritual master, and then we have the entire Vritrasura story and everything coming up. So when you do not submissively follow a right spiritual master, degradation is inevitable. So we'll end our discussion over here. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mataji. Hare